but these when you persecute a woman, you're really just persecuting her for being a woman.
Yeah.
The witch trials weren't about anything supernatural. They weren't about anything spiritual. They were the part of the counter revolution against the peasant uprising against feudalism. Because in that time when feudalism's starting to crumble, the moneyed folks are like, well, this system isn't going to work. We can't actually let peasants run the table because fuck that. So capitalism, the development of mercantile capitalism, this wage-based system, was a counter revolution to the fall of feudalism and the peasant uprisings. It didn't occur naturally, like Adam Smith and the hand of God came down and said, capitalism, and boom, you're welcome. Like, no, it didn't develop naturally. It was a very specific system that was implemented in order to make sure that they had a constant labor supply at the price that they were willing to pay, and they had enough babies. Because population concerns were a thing back in the day too, because of the plague wiped out like a third to a half of Europe.
I was just about to ask you, didn't you do a piece before on the history of the witch and the Halloween cat and like why that?
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah. So can you give a quick little brief thing on that so that people can understand?
Single cat ladies.
Yeah.
If you're going to die alone with your, speaking of, my cat is right here. Yes, my familiar is right here with me. The single cat lady trope is also from the witch trials, because when you were hunting for a suspected witch, you would look for that witch always being in close proximity to an animal. Now, it could have been anything. Could have been like a dog, a gerbil, a goat, but
birds, probably.
Birds. But cats, for some reason, they got focused on cats. And I think the reason why they did had to do with plague.
Yeah.
Because when plague was in town and peaking, people with cats didn't, if you had a cat in your home, it reduced your chances of infection because plague was spread by fleas on rats.
Yeah.
And if you have a cat in the house, it can reduce your rodent population.
Yeah.
So reduce your chances of getting sick. And they would accuse you of being a witch because they would say like, oh, well, how come she didn't get sick and we got sick and she cursed us? No, bitch, I just have a fucking cat.
Right.
And she killed half the rats that could have infected me. So,
exactly.
I lasted a little longer than you. Get a fucking cat.
What the fuck?
But that's sort of the origin story of the single cat lady thing, the crazy single cat lady, a woman who's like lonely and unhinged, and she's gonna eat little children.
Her.
They always hate women for succeeding. That's the thing. That's the thing in common is, the male loneliness epidemic is because women are just not, they won't settle, and women need to settle because otherwise, what are the men are gonna
for
die,
succeeding without them.
Yes.
Without men. Exactly. It's like, God forbid you have a cat that protects you from the plague. God forbid you have a job that protects you from a man.
Yeah, right.
That's what I'm saying. The modern day plague, is basically, women are like, having a boyfriend is embarrassing. Like, that's the plague. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So in a sense, you're right.
Is.
The cats are still protecting us from the plague.
You see? You see how
These
that
men
works?
who don't want to date cat ladies, like I would literally hold her up to the camera. Cat ladies, stay away. Bye.
I do want to see the cat,
look at
though.
this. You're still protecting us from the plague.
That's a familiar right there.
Aren't you going to show?
Oh, okay.
I know, I was going to say.
She's very
Yeah, she was very vocal. Oh, the baby.
Oh my God.
She's a perfect little witchy cat. I
know.
love her.
Say hi to the people.
Look at her.
She's a ginormous cat. But yeah, that's where that trope comes from. It comes from that time when they literally thought that we were using animals to like do our spells and somehow, carry out our evil deeds. And it literally lists animals that are like the most likely to be
And
familiars.
now
like,
we're ruining the workplace with wokeness, and now
wokeness.
God forbid, like we're ruining the art of cooking and, because women just don't cook anymore.
Did I miss that article? When was that article?
I think that was actually an older
older
article.
one?
Yeah. And I'm assuming it had something, it was like, are American women ruining the art of cooking? And I'm like, who the fuck is asking? American women are working 40 hours a
Right.
week,
Plus.
busting their ass. Like,
Plus.
because the men over here
Yeah.
are like, who's going to pay my bills? Like, who's going to
Who's
take
gonna
me
go
out to
50-50?
dinner? Yeah. Who's going to
Since
go
when
50
did the men start cooking other than professional chefs? Like, when were the men throwing it down in the kitchen? Like,
Only when they get
Never.
paid. Only when
Exactly.
they get paid.
Exactly.